What even is? No humans allowed. Huh? Be right back. Be right back, YouTube.
Not in threes like we used to see. Play hard. Doesn't mean we don't have it. Just saying like this.
Alright, I'm back, YouTube. Sorry. My goodness. You're an alien, okay. And yeah, I think I maxed out all my crusaders. Let's see. I got 3. Yay! Done. Now, how much longer on the other one? 8 hours. And so far I'm not really needing anything from here. I guess that was just the backup dancers are terrible. Take out your frustration and left sharp. Open. Isn't clean. Got some Crocs array to replenish your electrolytes and bloodthirst. Also the referees. To play the football, you need an edge. Hear about YouTube again, sorry. What? What did you say?
You want dinner?
Yeah, I want dinner.
First.
Alright, want me to stop first on the alley?
I would have liked that. I don't know what you want. Who's down there?
Okay, well, it's your attention.
So her again? Cook. Like you want to cook?
You know, of course. Get out of my kitchen. Hey, who pays rent? Huh?
Are you trying to go get a carton of cigarettes? account. Make sure. I can't do it. Why I can't do it?
Mm-hmm. Little Susie is inseparable from my mom and the ensuring madness. Locate and rescue her.
I got $90-some left. I forgot. Storage, which is $210 and $211 just about. And
Oh.
then my fucking auto insurance, which was $100 and some odd dollars.
I'll pay you for that. How much do you need?
No, I couldn't get a carton of cigarettes. That was all. Because then tomorrow they're going to charge me for the renter's insurance.
You're
So if
still,
I would have gotten the carton of cigarettes, I would not have had enough to pay the insurance.
you don't have the money for storage nor the
I paid the storage.
insurance?
That comes out automatically. I forgot all about it.
I'll pay you for
The
that.
storage sent me a notice, so I paid that.
How much do you need for your insurance tomorrow?
I don't. I paid it already.
You,
Like I said, I couldn't get a carton of smokes, which is what I was planning on doing.
The grass seems more crazy and barbaric than usually. I suspect magic always
$75,
match.
$76
Best
for
view.
a carton.
Mm.
That's not big enough. Yep. do that.
The processor is sprinkled with blood dust. Storm the concussions. You know, I'd actually take cinnamon on a pretzel. The blood dust appears to have animated some of the souvenir hands. Squish them. The team coaches seem annoyed that you messed up their games. You're annoyed they messed up yours. This bench guy wants your autograph, but you're too much of a diva. Get past him. Open sesame. Quite a busy parking lot. Instead of parking, just bite the cars. Find something to bring to Zen Classy's tailgate barbecue. Jim needs a lumberjack's meal. Fill the box of his pickup truck with steaks. James Markey isn't working salvage car parts so we can fix her up. Fix her up. Mm-hmm. The Markey is still locked in that pit until it works. Gold. Flag 14 Fantasy Football Invitations. Talk smack with your pro fantasy football players. You've got the best team. Terps doesn't agree. What does Terps know anyway? Let off some steam on these Terp monsters. Make some last minute changes to your team's lineup. You'll show Terps. Around 20% gold. Do it, sportsman. Things might get rough later. Collect 14 sets of tropical fighting gear. Don't forget the jerseys. You don't want to look like a bandwagoner. You shouldn't want to forget the beer hat either. What if you get thirsty? You'll need tickets. Buy some of these gross CD looking things, avoiding the police. You're face to face with the gatekeeper to the big game. The ticket vendor has come to collect. Alright.
Hoover, deal of the day. Hoover Smart Wash Automatic Carpet Cleaner. $199.99. Lists for $299.99. 33% off, it says. Ends in 3 hours 49 minutes.
Oh. They don't accept gold here, only carnage bucks. Scrounge up some carnage bucks. Get back in line and wait some more. It's on what food you want to eat at the last minute. Hold up the line.
I guess I did order the 8-pack, but I fucking ordered a 16. Because they fucking show us 16 is why. Usually they show you how many's there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
On the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
The brew behind you can't take it anymore. Beat up Bubba the brew.
$15.99.
Under the settings really good, indicate an our ticket. Find your seat. The teams are already on the field. Identify the players in your fantasy line.
So a 16-pack would have cost me $25.99.
Hey, Gronk gets an accident, it's back, and Anton's blood is missing. I'm like, what's the big idea? The other team is Painbringer. Manly is essentially won't stand for this. Go to the field. Order information greatly. Ignore commentators while you tensely wait for kickoff. Silver and Herzog makes a kick position. Yourself for a pass. Technically speaking, I did. Zilio Bones made a catch. He's passing a little way to you. Catch it.
See, I thought about this one here, but I don't know what they mean by high drain. Energy, high drain, double A and triple A. $18.99. Right. I thought about getting that. That's 8 and 8.
True, but it says high drain, so I don't know if they die quickly or not.
I don't either. That's why I didn't do that.
Saw a catcher. Ignores yells blood curdling cries. Charge forward and claim some ground. Market. Iron Putty is trying to intercept. especially concussed mark. But Carnage Cup doesn't care for concussions controversy. March on. Another team's blocked their way. Aw, Shanklin to see to hand off the ball. You go with your gut. Pass the ball to Ruffle Wolfhams instead. Ruffles intercepted a Monkram Bootlar. The play's ruined. Head to the bench for the halftime show. Backup dancers are terrible. Take out your frustration on left shark. Grab some Crocs or to replenish your electrolytes and boot bloodthirst. Hassle the referees. Deflate the ball. Football, you need an edge. The refs are onto you, but why do they care? Manling still has a chainsaw. The restaurant too, but why do they? Alright. You're being interviewed. Throw the equipment manager under the bus. Disruptions to the game has made the crowd turn ugly. Placate the rioters with your pointer finger. Associated has been separated from her mommy and the ensuring madness. Locate and rescue her. There's gonna be such a mess to clean up after this game. Don't do your part in recycling old cans. I don't think I got any more shots, did I? Nope. Hey man, don't bring the game down with your negative attitude. Destroy those hecklers. Brad see more crates and barbaric than usual. You suspect magic. Always magic. Investigate.
We ordered 100 count of double A Ackline batteries for $24.98, cheaper than I got those.
True, but the funny thing is, those are not rechargeable.
You're right, for one-time use.
Game coaches seem annoyed that you messed up again. They're annoyed they messed up the road. This bench guy wants to rock up, but you're too much of a diva. Get past him. What a busy parking lot instead of parking just right the cars. Find something to bring your family classes. If needs lumberjack meal, fill the box of its pickup truck with sticks. And dry cage morning salvage car parts start to fix the road. Okay, still I do not pay until it works. XP missions. Anything worthwhile for me that I could use? Nope, so. Well, 14th fantasy for. Watch Mike with your fellow fantasy football players. You've got the best team. Turp doesn't agree. What does Turp know anyways? Let us see him on the Turp monster. Make some last minute changes here. Teams on it. We'll show Turps. He's on all day, every day, but he's giving check. Things might get rough later. Collect 14 incessant tropical fighting gear. Won't want to forget the beer hats either. You need to take us by some of these gross, seedy looking things from the police. I'm afraid to wait for the gatekeeper to the big game to take a vendor has come to collect. Let's go. Okay, kitty. They don't accept gold here, only conifers. Ground, shrub, some garbage. Excuse me. Okay. Right back in line and wait some more. It's not what for you to want to eat at the last minute. Hold up the line. right behind you. Can't take any more beat up the.
Okay.
Hot.
I know. I just took them out of the oven and I salted them. You see, here into you, does it taste okay? How do you salt?
No mission available. What do we got? Sorry you to be here, Quantum. I just ate a fry. Oh no. Dean's role on the field. Enough other players in your fantasy lineup. Like Monkey, it's nice in the back and Anton's blood is missing a leg. What's the big idea? The other team's platform, pain bringer, handling against the chainsaw. You want sand for this. Go to the field. The men's coach Mark Tornland of the Antwerp Steelers select you on the field. Brand information grid. Ignore commenters while intensely wait for kickoff. Ben. This is all I'm getting?
Fries, yeah. Why, you want more fries?
No, I thought this is all I'm getting for dinner.
Huh?
I thought this is all I'm getting for dinner.
No, the burgers are still cooking.
Oh, alright, makes sense. Here, back you too.
I thought before the fries got cold, you know, you have fries when the burgers are still cooked. Right? The burgers are about the way I like them. You honest with you?
Yeah, I actually like mine the same way. I'm not very picky on my meat. What on earth?
Are the hamburgers salted too? Yeah, these are going to be dry cooked. Yeah, I'll leave that all in the morning. I'll take it back. Soup? Yeah. You want to open hamburger seat? How well it's done? Yeah, I can try. What are you eating like that? Not that. Not very. That's real. I like my eating. That's okay. Yeah. That's I like that. That is hard to develop that. It does the back one like that. Pork for my burger. And it's in the fridge if you want it. I mean, I'll take hamburger with ketchup on that and not just by itself. I know. Tomorrow?
Huh?
Ham tomorrow? Pizza or what?
Ham tomorrow, please.
I made these burgers today. I cooked up that hamburger with onion, the moose stuff.
Yeah.
Enough fries, or you want more fries?
This'll be enough what I have on my plate, thank you.
Okay.
Especially with my second hamburger, whenever it gets done, that'll actually be a completely full plate.
Okay, come here.
My other hamburger done?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and my pork down on this. I'm going to take another drink.
Yeah. Nope. Milk? Yes, sir. Okay. Well, appreciate it.
Wait, did it come on in the fours?
That one, because I want to make sure each half was done.
Okay, that makes sense. We'll do on it.
One less.
There you are. You are welcome. Oops, I didn't agree. But that's took snow anyway. So I'll have some steam on these dirt monsters. And some last minute changes to your teams on it. You'll show troops. Alright, you ready?
Look like I'm ready yet?
Nope.
Okay. We got the fork.
And my doctor.
Where's your phone at so you can plug it in?
On the pillow. Zero Doomsday Mountain.
Okay. That's the next one, right?
Yeah.
Eyes in the sky, watching us from space. Hundreds of satellites revealing for the first time objects and phenomena which defy explanation.
I can't believe this. It can't be.
Top secret American stealth technology discovered deep inside China.
I couldn't believe my eyes. This was huge.
Something truly massive spotted lurking in Loch Ness.
Is there something alive in there? Something big? Could this be the Loch Ness Monster?
Satellites locate the doomsday device that could blow up the world.
I'm not sure any sane country would have one of these because if both sides had it, it could be catastrophic.
Baffling phenomena. Mysteries from space. What on earth are they? Satellites have changed the science of meteorology. Today, we can predict the weather with an accuracy unimaginable just a few decades ago. But there are things in our skies that can baffle even the most sophisticated technology. 2013, an ordinary summer's day in Huntsville, Alabama.
Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Scottsboro holding at 75 degrees. We're talking about a half of an inch, perhaps an inch of rainfall in the Tennessee Valley.
But as the day wears on, the radar readings tell a different story.
All of a sudden, this large blob shows up on our radar. It was this big circle, this monster blob.
The blob started out less than a mile diameter, and then quickly grew to over 10 miles in diameter. It looks to us like a strong to severe thunderstorm.
If this is a thunderstorm, you do not want to get caught in this. There's some heavy rainfall and some hail with this one.
The town of Huntsville lies in the heart of tornado country. Residents steel themselves for what they fear could be the biggest storm in the area's history. But the nightmare scenario fails to materialize.
We've got this massive cloud showing up on radar. It should be visible from miles away, but yet you look outside and there's nothing there. Something's going on here.
When we saw the blob showing up on the weather radar, we also quickly looked at our ghost satellite readings to try to see if we could see what was actually occurring. And it looked like there was nothing happening. This is the weirdest radar-based event that I have ever seen.
As they try to make sense of it, the blob continues to grow.
Those two images should always coincide. If we see an echo on the radar, we should also see a thunderstorm from space above. If we don't, that tells us something weird is going on.
One thing is now certain. Whatever this is, it has nothing to do with the weather. But worried viewers still want to know what's happening in their skies.
This big blob of what appears to be heavy rain sitting over Huntsville and Madison is not rain at all.
Huntsville's meteorologists are baffled. Then, news of an unusual local natural event reaches the team.
It just so happened that earlier that day, about 1,000 ladybugs were released into the atmosphere by some local scientists.
People were actually wondering, was the signature of the ladybugs?
Could the strange anomaly be a living, flying swarm?
Insects certainly can reflect radar beams back, but 1,000 of them? No, there would have to be hundreds of millions of them.
The mystery is baffling.
To this point, we are very confused with what's going on. We really don't have any idea.
With no firm evidence, investigators can only speculate as to the cause of the strange radar signature.
This isn't weather, but yet it's expanding and growing. What is this? Some kind of chemical weapon? Is it something unexplained? Is there a fire? It's just defies immediate explanation.
Then it vanished. The blob disappeared as quickly as it came that day.
At the Severe Weather Institute, Alabama, researcher Ryan Wade finds himself bombarded with questions about the bizarre event.
Wild speculation began. We were accused of covering up, conspiracy theorists of covering up military operations or cloud seeding or even aliens. And so the media attention itself kind of took on a life of its own. And so finally the next day we kind of had enough of it. And so we went to the point source.
Charting the blob's development, Wade realizes that its point of origin is in a very suspicious location.
Redstone.
Notice that there was certainly a point source where just a few radar echoes showed up in a specific location, right along the edge of Redstone Arsenal. And so we went to the point source.
Redstone Arsenal, a top-secret U.S. weapons testing facility.
Redstone Arsenal is home of some of the greatest military mysteries in United States history. Is this one of them?
Constructed during World War II as a chemical weapons manufacturing facility and developed into a base for covert rocket testing operations. Today, Redstone is home to a number of clandestine programs.
Redstone Arsenal houses the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, and they also do a lot of missile testing. And so it's fairly common to have smoke from the missile test range that shows up on radar.
On the day of the cloud's appearance, nobody has seen or heard any of the telltale signs of missile testing in the Huntsville area. Wade heads to the spot he's located, on the perimeter of Redstone Arsenal, where he makes a telling discovery.
What we found were feathery type clumps, almost like a little piece of plastic or a little piece of fiberglass.
Experts agree that the material Wade discovers at the site closely resembles chaff, a radar countermeasure used in military aviation since World War II.
Planes will release what is called chaff. It is these tiny microscopic thin particles that will fool the radar into not knowing exactly where the plane is.
Wade scrutinizes satellite mapping imagery of Redstone. He finds a fleet of helicopters stationed there. Could these have deployed the chaff? Faced with the evidence, the military comes clean.
Almost. After we went and found the chaff, Redstone Arsenal did issue a statement. Basically, they said there was a scene.
The Redstone statement does not reveal the purpose of the activities that caused the unusual radar signature. But Ryan Wade believes he might have stumbled across a secret military scheme to create phantom storms.
If I were trying to come up with a playbook to generate what looks like a thunderstorm on radar that really isn't a thunderstorm, these environmental conditions with this type of substance, that's what I would use.
Faced with intense media interest, Redstone finally admits it was testing an advanced form of chaff known as RR-188. But chaff doesn't fully explain the behavior of the Huntsville blob.
The thing that made the Huntsville mystery blob different than other chaff releases that we've seen in the past is that it grew slowly and it didn't move quickly with the wind like we usually see.
Until Redstone comes clean, it's impossible to be certain of the true nature of the Huntsville blob. A Soviet complex concealed deep in the Ural Mountains.
This area is the size of a small city.
Sets alarm bells ringing in the United States.
Something is being hidden in this mountain.
And U.S. spies uncover a terrifying secret.
I'm not sure any sane country would have one of these.
October 1997. A U.S. satellite spots a massive, unidentified construction site deep in an isolated region of Russia's Ural Mountains.
this area is the size of a small city.
When satellite imagery picks up massive undertakings like this complex construction, of course the U.S. military is going to be interested in what's going on and what it's for.
One of the strangest things about this is just a few years after the Cold War ends, you'll see renewed activity on this mountain, which really makes you wonder what exactly is going on here.
Initial estimates suggest the complex could stretch 400 square miles under the Yamantau Mountain.
When you look at these pictures, what really pops out at you is the scale. What could possibly be going on in a complex that is this big?
I've seen estimates that it could accommodate 80,000 people underground.
The Russians claim they have nothing to hide. The image is so troubling that a U.S. Congressman, Kurt Wellman, raises it with the Russian authorities.
The congressman speaks to the minister in charge of Russian mining. He's never heard of this supposed mining complex. It's actually a mine. Of course he'd know about it. So the minister sends an aide to ask around, say, what is going on here? When the aide comes back visibly shaken and nobody wants to talk about this, it makes me think something shady is going on here. Something is being hidden in this mountain.
All the clues seem to indicate Yamantau Mountain serves some secret, sinister purpose.
Based in satellite imagery, because of all the roads and protective measures like fences and barbed wire that you can see in it, it's easy to assume that this is a huge military complex, complete with an underground bunker that's built into the side of the mountain.
Then, in 1999, 2 years after the satellite first spots the site, U.S. intelligence received a clue to the mystery of Yamantau Mountain from a double agent within the KGB. Colonel Oleg Gordievsky claims that the Yamantau complex is a nuclear command bunker, built to house Russia's leaders in the event of a conflict.
The Soviets and now the Russians are always concerned about protecting their top leadership. They like to put their leaders in their command bunkers into very deep locations underground.
This theory fits with Yamantau's remote location, far from the Russian capital.
The United States built shelters that are farther away from Washington, so it's logical that they could build a shelter out farther from Moscow.
A bunker to keep Russia's leaders safe would not be cause for international concern. But during a research trip to Russia, investigative journalist Bruce Blair hears a disturbing rumor from his contacts in the Russian military.
After dinner, continue Legos or no?
Possibility that weapons could be tucked away in Yamantau.
The construction date of the Yamantau complex lends credibility to the idea. In 1991, as building on the site picked up, Russia and America signed the START Arms Control Treaty to reduce stockpiles of nuclear weapons. But the activity around Yamantau arouses U.S. suspicions.
You always have to wonder, is the other side playing with a straight hand? Are they trying to be tricky? When you see a bunker that's 400 square miles underground, that looks like the perfect place to stash a couple of nukes for later.
Because we know that the missiles and the warheads were moved, it's not inconceivable that they were moved to an underground mountain complex.
Blair's investigations reveal the Russian government has allocated more than $6 billion to the Yamantau project. His sources warn him that the complex could be the base for a sinister device known as the Dead Hand.
The Dead Hand was designed during the 1970s and 80s to ensure that in the event of an attack that decapitated the top leaders of the Soviet Union, this system would unleash the Russian nuclear arsenal in retaliation.
Military analysts had always hoped the apocalyptic supercomputer was a myth.
The Dead Hand concept is a lot like the Doomsday Machine from Doctor Strangelove. If a nuclear attack is detected on your soil, your missiles launch automatically without any controls or any permissions. The United States always hoped that the Soviet Union didn't have one, but we're never quite sure what it would do.
I learned about the dead hand through my contacts within the Russian military and the general staff. There's absolutely no doubt that the dead hand has been continuously operational since the early 1980s.
Not everyone believes the doomsday device to be real.
If both sides had it, it could be catastrophic. I'm not sure any sane country would have one of these because if you don't have humans in the loop, you're in very dangerous territory.
Blair might have uncovered the original purpose of the Yamantau Mountain complex. But sources within the Russian military reveal that their high command has been forced to change plans.
Yamantau was going to be the original home of the dead hand, but it turned out that it couldn't communicate because Yamantau is a mountain of mostly quartz, which interferes with radio transmissions.
I want to watch your news.
But the dead hand lives on.
Kuzvinsky Mountain is in the Urals of the north. And that turned out that this granite did not interfere with the transmission of radio signals. Kuzvinsky Mountain became the home of the dead hand, and if certain conditions are met, the dead hand will unleash the Russian nuclear arsenal in retaliation.
U.S. intelligence is still not sure of the true purpose of Yamantau Mountain. But we can be sure that Kuzvinsky is now the target of routine satellite surveillance. In a country torn by civil war, satellite imagery reveals strange holes appearing all over an ancient city.
It almost looked like craters on the face of the moon.
Are they the marks of a war for Syria's soul? Or are they the sinister legacy of a dark chapter in its history? Over centuries of conflict, the fog of war has concealed countless atrocities. But today, satellites make war crimes harder to hide. Now, American investigators are using orbital imagery to monitor war damage to ancient sites in Syria.
The American Association for the Advancement of Science has a project called the Geospatial Technologies Project, and we use high-resolution satellite imagery to monitor conflict zones.
One site caught in the Syrian civil war captures their attention. The ancient Roman city of Dura-Europos, on the southeastern border of the country.
If you flew over Dura 10 years ago, you would have seen largely intact sites. Do it now, and you'll see lunar landscapes.
We were shocked at the level of damage that we saw. When you compare what the site looked like before the conflict began and the imagery that we were looking at, it was a completely different landscape.
There are little pockmark pricks throughout the entire site.
There were thousands of them, so many that we couldn't really tell one from another.
The image causes global concern. Dura is occupied by the radical fundamentalist group Islamic State, or ISIS. The presence of an army of fanatical killers makes close examination of the holes impossible.
So normally what we would do is just go put boots on the ground and take a look at these impact holes, these craters, whatever they are. But we can't. This area's been under rebel control for years, and so we have to rely on the satellite data.
ISIS has been expanding in Syria and in Iraq, and a lot of those expansions are things that we can document with satellite imagery.
As ISIS has gained ground, we've kept really close monitoring on our satellite imagery of what is being damaged and what isn't.
ISIS actively seeks to destroy timeless works of art, which they view as pagan imagery. But the pattern of destruction in this image does not look like demolition. Whatever is happening to Dura-Europos has covered the area in craters. Analysts wonder, maybe this isn't an act of desecration at all. Maybe this is the result of war damage.
This ancient site has been inside of a brutal civil war, and when you see these kind of holes, you're probably thinking artillery shells, some sorts of explosions.
In a modern war, shelling can leave devastating scars on the landscape, marks that can be seen from space.
Once an area has been shelled, you generally can see small stippling or craters in the region of the exact impact of the concussion.
Yet when experts examine the image from Dura, the destruction doesn't fit conventional shelling patterns.
War is chaos, and so when you go to look at the remnants of a war zone, this is blown off, there's a crater here where artillery shells have landed, but right next to it's not.
You might not see the crater in the first place, you might only see the ruin and the destruction of the entire neighborhood. In fact, entire city blocks can be completely leveled because it causes such widespread destruction.
When investigators compare the conflict damage at Dura with another nearby location, Damascus, they note an obvious difference. Dura's street plan remains intact.
It's too regular. Even if you could place munitions on this sort of a precise grid, you wouldn't want to because your targets are moving all the time. So what is it?
For some reason, these holes are being dug deliberately.
What I don't understand is why this area is so important to the rebels. It's not really a strategic target. There's no population, there's no oil in this area, so why are they there?
When investigators dig deeper, they discover that the answer is nothing less than buried treasure.
We're seeing our number of small holes, looter holes, we call them, being excavated into the Europas.
We'd seen maybe 100, 200 looting pits at some of these other sites, but Dura Europas had thousands and thousands.
Unlike other ancient monuments, at Dura Europas, the entire site is being looted. But this is a ruined backwater city on the edge of the desert. What could be down there that makes it so valuable? The answer lies in a violent chapter from Dura's early history. Almost 2,000 years ago, this city was part of the mighty Roman Empire, and it was besieged by a Persian army. They attempted to breach Dura's defenses with a brutal method known as siege mining.
The idea is to so undermine that wall that it falls outwards, creating great gap.
While the Persians tried to breach the city walls, the Romans engaged in countermeasures.
The Romans strengthened the defences, knowing the Persians were coming, and by dumping huge amounts of dirt on the back of their walls, they preserved a line of city blocks, which included a fantastically well-preserved Christian house church, a synagogue, several temples of Roman and Palmyran gods, and a line of private houses.
By shoring up their defenses, the Romans packed tons of dirt over valuable wall paintings, unwittingly preserving them for millennia. Once they'd secured the walls, they went on the offensive.
So what do you do when you know you're being mined? You countermine. You dig your own mine, hoping to break through into the enemy's gallery and neutralize that threat.
But for the Roman counterminers, a nasty surprise was waiting.
There are some evidence to suggest that sulfur or bitumen and other dark, smoky substances were being burned by the Persians and perhaps being used to effectively smoke the Romans out. One view might be that this is the first use of poison gas in warfare. For the Roman soldier, this would have been absolutely terrifying.
The Persians collapsed the mine, preserving their bodies and equipment beneath the sand, leaving them and the other treasures of Dura Europas for the future to find.
The mine was sealed, and therefore it created a preserved environment, which is why when these skeletons were excavated, some of them still had brains in the cranium, and it was a very unpleasant process of excavation.
The violent siege entombed the defenders and sealed the city, making it a treasure trove for modern-day looters.
The city is remarkably well preserved because it was abandoned and it was left in the desert, and no one has built on top of it because it wasn't re-inhabited.
Now, ISIS is exploiting the archaeological bonanza to fund their deadly war machine.
The site's been completely ransacked by looters. I ISIS is encouraging that by offering permits to loot in that area.
They would be taxing those fines from the local people that would then sell these objects on the black market.
What they can't sell, they destroy. Erasing all trace of the peoples who ruled this land before ISIS.
This is a disaster, obviously, for archaeologists, for people who study the history of Syria, people ignoring the rich cultural heritage of Syria.
It's just a tragedy for the world at large.
A U.S. satellite over China discovers disturbing evidence of stolen technology.
I couldn't believe my eyes. There it was, in the middle of China, an American stealth fighter.
Why is an F-117 sitting on the ground inside of China?
Has China gained access to some of America's most closely guarded military secrets?
The Chinese have stealth technology that they would have a capability that no one else in the world possesses except the United States.
No, I'm eating.
Becomes a global superpower. It guards its secrets closely. But
Still have hamburger in my mouth.
security is no match for the satellites watching our planet. 2010. Military analyst Alison Puccione trolls through reconnaissance images of China. In the industrial city of Luoyang, a disturbingly familiar shape catches her eye.
Boom, there it was. An American F-117 Nighthawk in the middle of China. I couldn't believe my eyes.
The F-117 Nighthawk is a highly advanced stealth attack aircraft designed for the U.S. Air Force.
The F-117 was a game changer in terms of aviation technology. It was the first example of stealth aircraft.
It earned the nickname Goblin for its unusual radar-evading shape. 59 of the silent killers went active from 1983 after years of top-secret research, which drew on a theory pioneered by the Soviets.
The Russian physicist named Pyotr Ufimtsev developed a theory on how it's using aircraft as kind of a pyramid to direct the radar waves in the direction you want them to go.
The panels of the plane would bounce the signal away from the radar receiver. But only America had the resources to turn the theory into a practical way.
That was very effective during the first Gulf War with this laser-guided bomb. F-117 hit about 1,600 targets.
The satellite image appears to suggest a worrying possibility that China has somehow obtained a piece of America's most sensitive military technology.
Why is an F-117 sitting on the ground inside of an industrial complex inside of China?
Intel reveals the object in Luoyang is housed in a facility that develops military targeting systems.
One of the ways you test your anti-aircraft technology is to build mock-ups and models of the potential targets you might perceive yourself to have to go and deal with.
To test the theory that it's just a model, researchers use radar satellites to bounce the signal off it. If it's truly stealth technology, they should get no signal back.
The Italian Space Agency took radar images over this particular object, and the radar return was very insignificant, which told me that potentially this may have been actual stealth technology.
The object in China looks like an F-117, and it seems to possess the stealth aircraft's radar-evading properties. Could this be part of a Chinese stealth program?
China has spent a considerable amount of effort trying to develop their own versions of the F-117 stealth fighter. A decade ago, they wouldn't have been able to develop or field stealth technology.
Somehow, China is catching up in the stealth arms race. In December 2010, pictures emerged of China's very own homegrown stealth aircraft, the J-20.
Here we are 10 years down the road, and they're flying multiple prototypes throughout the country.
So where did the Chinese get this know-how?
They're really good at taking existing technologies from other countries, replicating it, and mass producing it. right after the Chinese publicly released the J-20. The Americans found out about this image of the F-117. It seems kind of coincidental.
A clue to how the Chinese could have obtained pieces of stealth technology comes when analysts notice the aircraft's nose and cockpit appear to be missing.
The tail section looks like an F-117 and a stealth fighter, but it's hard to tell what's in the nose area there.
This observation provides a possible lead to the rogue Nighthawk's origin.
The U.S. Air Force lost a 117 in 1999 during the Coastal War. One of them was shot down.
Call sign Vega 31 was the only Nighthawk to ever be shot down.
Nobody knows where the back three-quarters of that aircraft is. There may be a potential that this is the actual back three-quarters of the very F-117 that was downed in Serbia.
So it sort of fits the story. The nose cone in the pilot's cockpit was kept, but the body was sold to China.
However China achieved it, one thing is certain. America's lead in the stealth race is slipping.
Worst case scenario is if the Chinese have stealth technology equivalent to America, that they would have a capability that no one else in the world possesses except the United States.
The stealth stakes just got raised. Most scientists have long dismissed the Loch Ness Monster as a myth.
There's a million reasons not to believe in the Loch Ness Monster. It's cold. What would it eat? And you certainly think that we would have found it by now.
But this satellite image spotted in 2014 raises questions that are hard to brush aside.
Is there something alive in there? Something big? Could this be the Loch Ness Monster?
In 2014, a British user of Apple Maps stumbles across a mysterious image in the waters of Scotland's fabled Loch Ness.
It sees something in the lake, or the loch, as the Scottish call it, and it's clearly the wake of something. But the question is, of what?
The image appears to show the ghostly outline of something huge lurking below the surface. Something so big that it can be seen from space.
Obviously, something is going on in the water here. It looks organic. Is this a fish?
The object appears to be at least 3 times bigger than the house in the bottom right-hand corner of the image, over 100 feet long.
When I first saw this image, I thought this has got to be some kind of creature.
Even analysts who don't believe it's a monster struggle to provide a rational alternative explanation.
People say that it's the wake of a boat. Now, I've lived on boats for several years. I've worked on boats my entire life. No boat that I have ever been on has a
The shape of the boat would have to be quite odd to create a wake pattern like that. And of course, there's no boat. Where's the boat?
If the strange wake isn't made by something on the surface of the loch, perhaps it's something in the water's murky depths.
When people say Loch Ness, they often think of monsters.
What are the odds that a bizarre satellite image like this just happened to be taken on Loch Ness of all places?
This high-tech image is the latest in a long line of so-called monster sightings dating as far back as 600 AD. Since then, over 3,000 reports point to a giant creature living in the lake's 750-foot deep waters.
There have been a lot of theories over the years about what the Loch Ness Monster actually is. The most popular of these is that it's a type of pliosaur, which is an aquatic dinosaur that has pectoral fins that are almost a perfect match for this image.
The idea of a primeval creature living today, hiding in plain sight, might seem like science fiction. But it's happened before.
If it's true, it wouldn't be the first time that a prehistoric species has been found in modern times. There was the coelacanth off the coast of South Africa, thought to have been extinct for millions of years. And there it is, alive.
For a living fossil, such as the coelacanth, an ocean provides enough space to remain undetected. But for a giant prehistoric monster, hiding in the 22 square mile Loch Ness would be harder.
First of all, it's a huge animal. We're in the 21st century. You'd think that we would have found an animal of that size by now.
Dinosaurs are also air breathers, so they would be presumably seen at the surface a lot more often.
The apparent size of the phenomenon compels investigators to re-examine the source data of the image for more clues.
You have to look at how the image is made. This image is a composite. It's stitched.
If you're trying to create a map of the world through satellite imagery, you have no choice. You have to stitch thousands of images together.
Stitching is a technique widely used with satellite imagery. It helps create a single, seamless picture from multiple different source images. Image analyst Mark D'Antonio suggests that this could be a key factor in establishing the truth behind the eerie object in this photograph.
So, in this picture we have a picture of water, a picture of a boat on that water. And they get stitched together. They get overlapped, and then they get blended. When they get blended, sometimes you lose the object like the boat. And that's what we see here.
The unidentified image of the Loch Ness oddity can still be found on Apple Maps. Whatever created it remains unconfirmed.
Looking at this image, there's something there on it. Something real.
A satellite spots a strange structure in remote Afghan sands. A relic from some long-forgotten war.
Afghanistan is a graveyard of empire.
But one man on a quest for vengeance successfully conquered this area. His name strikes fear into the hearts of those who faced him. They called him Iskender the Demon. We call him Alexander the Great. In 2008. Reconnaissance satellites surveyed the battle-scarred southern provinces of Afghanistan, looking for insurgent activity.
The area is incredibly violent.
It's full of insurgents. There's very little local control over the region.
In the heart of the barren Registan desert, a strange object lurks amongst the dunes.
The image looks like a hollow square.
It looks like a number of geometric shapes carved out in the middle of the desert.
What is it? And why is it here? The history of this region suggests that the purpose of this structure could be military.
This part of the world has been fought over for thousands of years. Afghanistan is seen as the graveyard of empire. Different military powers have gone back and forth across this country only to meet their demise.
There are so many ruins of lost empires in the region that separating one from the other is almost impossible. But in recent decades, one power has dominated this land.
If you say Kandahar nowadays, the first thing that pops to mind is going to be the Taliban. So are they the ones who built this?
But experts aren't convinced this structure fits the Taliban way.
The Taliban are guerrillas, and so they would probably avoid making big structures like this.
They mostly keep to the caves and keep out of sight.
There's no tents, there's no vehicles, there's no security setup, there's nothing that suggests there's any type of military occupation.
The condition of the structure suggests that it is old, very old.
It's heavily wind eroded, and it's got a lot of blown up sand and debris. I would guess that this is an ancient fortress.
What could a fortress be guarding in this isolated, arid region? Perhaps this stronghold once stood watch over the most lucrative trade route in history, the Great Silk Road.
The Great Silk Road was a trade network, really, connecting everywhere from China all the way to the Roman Empire. It actually lasted thousands of years, really, in some form, but was a road that was facilitated by large empires that grew during this time period.
It was the money funnel that anyone who was in political power would want to control.
Traders were obviously at risk from bandits. So if you had somewhere like a fort to go as a refuge at night, that was where you came out to.
But according to local experts, there's a serious flaw in this theory.
Most of the silk routes go to the north of Afghanistan, and the forts that we've found to the south is the mountains in the center of Afghanistan, so I don't think that they're related to the Silk Roads.
The Great Silk Routes were not the only roads to riches running through Central Asia. Satellite archaeologists have discovered another fortified highway that dates back to the time of the Persian empires.
It has an imperial route running towards Kandahar, which is where these forts are located.
It seems likely that this fort was one of many built by the ancient Persian Empire.
We found hundreds of sites, but it's only a small area that we can look at.
The Persians built fortifications to defend themselves against their deadliest enemy, Alexander the Great, the most successful general in the ancient world.
Alexander the Great, his name is corrupted from Alexander to Iskander, sometimes demonized in the Arab world because of the Persians. From Iranian history, he brings down a Persian empire.
To the Afghans, Iskander was a demon who destroyed the Persian Empire and conquered their homeland in a relentless quest for vengeance. This massive invasion might have provided a compelling reason to build the fortress in the dunes. Afghanistan comes to Alexander's attention when the Persian king Darius flees into the region. There, he is murdered by his generals. Alexander is horrified by the generals' act of betrayal to their king and hunts them down. He ties their ringleader naked to a stake and cuts off his nose and ears in the traditional punishment of a traitor to the king. The struggle provides the perfect excuse for Alexander to conquer Kandahar.
He really expanded his empire everywhere.
But in Afghanistan, he gets more than he bargains for.
In this instance, in Afghanistan, he ran into just incredible local resistance and was devoted to trying to create fortifications and military response to that local resistance.
You take over or try to conquer a territory, it makes sense to put up some type of fort or military installation to secure a toehold.
But some historians are not convinced they see the shape of an Alexandrian fort in the Afghan sands.
Wherever Alexander conquered, he left column sites, effectively, fortresses, but most of them were pre-existing cities which just had their name changed to Alexandria.
So there's often a romantic association between ancient ruins and Alexander or Iskander, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's any basis in fact.
Yet the tantalizing possibility still remains that this Persian fort in the middle of the Afghan desert once stood witness to an epic struggle between its builders and the greatest general in the ancient world.
Oh.
Eyes in the sky, watching us from space. Hundreds of satellites showing us the world like we've never seen it before. Objects and phenomena which defy explanation.
I can't believe this. It can't be.
A weird, deadly black blob is threatening the Florida Keys. It was not supposed to be there. Signs of a brutal murder caught on satellite.
This was like a classic Hollywood story where this murder was caught by accident.
Strange spiral markings in the African desert.
These circles have been linked to the ancient lost city of Kandahar.
Baffling phenomena. Mysteries from space. What on earth are they? Satellites orbiting Earth, showing us the world like we've never seen it before. a new space-age early warning system. But what exactly has this satellite captured? January 2002. The Seastar satellite monitors the world's oceans. It beams data of Florida's unspoiled waters to marine scientist Professor Frank Muller Carter.
We typically see a bright piece of ocean.
But he's stunned by what the satellite shows.
It looks different. Big, dark patch of water, almost black.
A massive dark blob has appeared in the clear waters off the Florida coast. It shocks researchers.
This is huge. I've never seen anything like this before.
The blob is over 30 miles wide, covering an area more than 3 times the size of New York. Experts struggle to understand what is causing it and the kind of danger it might pose.
I don't know how to explain it. It was not supposed to be there.
The ominous shadow is just 10 miles from land.
It's so close to land. It's kind of scary because you've got Miami right there, you've got Tampa, 2 large populations in the U.S. We got to figure out what this is.
From a control room, experts monitor the satellite feed. They notice that the dark mass is slowly rotating. Could this be some kind of gigantic whirlpool sucking in everything around it? What oceanographers call a black hole?
I call it a black hole because nothing can escape from this big swirling eddy.
Just like black holes in space, oceanic black holes are huge spinning vortices that will swallow anything that gets too close to their dark embrace.
These are 100 miles across, now deep, that big, very fast.
Formed of billions of tons of water, black holes menace the oceans. Almost nothing can escape their pull.
If you get sucked into a black hole, you're basically dead, aren't you?
Eddies swirling around in rivers. That also happens in oceans, but on a much bigger scale.
The Gulf of Mexico is shaped like a bowl, forcing oceanic currents to bend in on themselves. Perfect for creating black hole whirlpools. But the blob moving towards Florida is in the wrong place.
We can see a massive eddy course very far away, literally 150 miles away.
Supersized whirlpools form in the middle of the ocean, not near the coast. The blob is twisted, but it's not a black hole whirlpool. So why does the normally clear blue water appear to be stained black? Black water in the Gulf of Mexico usually means one thing: oil. In 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded, pouring millions of barrels of toxic oil into the Gulf.
It was so large that we could see it from space.
Black gold turned into black death, killing hundreds of animals and devastating the coastline. Could an oil spill explain the black hole?
If this is an oil spill, then it's absolutely massive.
Experts analyze the satellite images for evidence of oil in the dark water.
When you're studying oil spills, especially from satellite images, the first thing that you're going to notice is sun glints.
Sun glints are bright white reflections caught by satellites as light bounces off the oil.
Oil spills act like a giant reflective surface, and so they're taking the sun's rays and reflecting it back to the satellite image. But we're not seeing that. It doesn't make any sense.
Satellite images of the dark water don't show any sun glint. The weird blob is not a whirlpool, and it's not an oil spill. As it moves across the water, satellites track its path.
This event lasted for well over a month, almost 2 months.
Is it natural? Is it unnatural? You gotta get to the bottom of this mystery.
To understand where the black shape has come from, oceanographers Jim Ivey and Dave English move in to study it up close. In the center of the blob, the sea is dead calm. They drop cameras into the water. Something is not right.
As soon as the camera penetrated the surface, that's when we saw all the jellies. Hundreds of thousands of little cone jellies moving through the water column.
Something is causing vast numbers of jellyfish to rise up from the deep. To figure out what, Jim and Dave must take samples to analyze the water.
Anything that could affect the color of the water, we had instruments to measure that.
Back on dry land, Professor Muller Carter follows a hunch and checks the infrared band on the satellite feed. He spots a disturbing signal.
Whenever you see something in that red channel, there's no question about it. This has to be a red tide.
What sailors call a red tide is in fact a deadly plague. A vast cloud of poisonous red microorganisms which turns the ocean the color of blood. Mike Colby has witnessed a red tide up close.
It looks like this is something that came from another planet.
The red algae multiply so fast they form a block of blood red that can be seen from space. A huge, lethal blob.
Well, the red tide can kill thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions. Seeing that many dead fish almost brought me to tears.
And it's not just fish that are in danger. Humans, too, are at risk.
The red tide algae is harmful to people when it becomes airborne off the water. Then all of a sudden you're exposed and you're scared to death that you won't be able to breathe. Nothing else seems to matter when you can't breathe.
If this is a red tide, then we have a real problem. But we have to solve another problem first, because red tides are red. This one is black.
In the heart of the black hole, Jim and Dave's test results come in. What they reveal is baffling. Just as the satellite predicted, the water contains lethal red tide algae. But it contains more than that. Mixed in with the algae is the rotting residue of thousands of dead plants contaminating the coastline.
So you mix that in with algae in the water, it appears black on the satellite.
But where did all those dead plants come from? Weather satellites show heavy rain flushing dead matter out of the Everglades into the ocean. It looks like the black swamp water has mutated with the red tide, giving birth to a maritime monster.
It was kind of the perfect storm. You had the toxic algae and you had the currents just right.
Scientists now think they know what the black blob is, but they are powerless to do anything about it.
There are many things in the ocean that we're still completely unable to comprehend.
This time, Florida has a lucky escape. The weather comes to the rescue.
Had storms in that area that churned the water column. So instead of being stagnant water, we suddenly have water that was well mixed. And that is what finally got rid of it.
After months of menacing the coastline, the black blob is chased away by nature itself.
This is just one of those mysteries of the ocean. There's not much we can do about it.
A NASA satellite discovers something shocking hidden beneath the frozen wastes of Antarctica.
Something is exerting a massive gravitational pull, but it's under so much ice that there's no way for us to see what it is.
Investigators discover it is not of this world.
There is something very deep underneath the ice. But the question is, what is it?
The implications are literally earth-shattering.
I can't believe this. It can't be.
Interesting stuff.
Satellite imagery has given us a new perspective on our world. Today, your phone or laptop can show what astronauts are seeing. It can even show you things that are invisible to the naked eye. In March 2002, the Rocket launch vehicle blasts off from the Plesetsk spaceport. In orbit, it deploys its payload, NASA's twin Grace satellites. Pushing satellite science to new limits, Grace can locate places on Earth where gravity is different.
They were in gravity level?
Gravity field is even, but it's not.
Everything on Earth has mass, pulling on the satellites above them with gravity. The bigger the geological feature, the greater the mass, and the larger the gravitational anomaly.
gravitational anomalies have a lot of applications, and they're used for looking for oil and gas, for minerals, for water, things that may produce earthquakes or affect earthquake response.
But when the Grace satellites pass over an obscure corner of Antarctica known as Wilkes Land, the strange data they beam down makes geophysicist Ralph von Fries sit up and take notice.
Suddenly the gravity just jumping out of sight. I can't believe this. It can't be.
Something buried deep within this fortress of solitude is reaching 300 miles into the atmosphere and acting like a tractor beam, pulling the satellites down. The question is, what is it?
It's under so much ice, there's no way for us to see what it is.
Such a massive gravitational pull is worrying. Some commentators fear a mega volcano may be concealed under Wilkes Land.
Certain kinds of magmas, even the Earth's mantle, contain high amounts of iron. Such an eruption beneath the ice could certainly bring heavy, high-density material, at least to the near surface levels.
But investigator Ralph von Fries is not convinced.
When you have volcanic activity, that adds mass to the crust. And we see that the crust is thin and Wilkes Land. So this can't be a volcanic feature.
Geologists know that Earth's crust is thin here. But what could have more mass and power than a supervolcano? Could vast quantities of moving ice be exerting a strange gravitational pull?
Glaciers are bulldozers. Glaciers move because there's something pushing on them. Either the glacial ice above or because of movement somewhere else in that ice mass.
Though Antarctica is covered in thick ice, its glaciers simply aren't massive enough to exert such a gravitational pull.
So we've got two explanations for this. One could be volcanic, geological, and that's not it. The other could be some sort of massive glacial movement, and that's not it. So what does that leave?
There is no other earthly force strong enough to pull on satellites like this. To investigate further, Ralph von Fries must penetrate more than a mile of ice to see what lies beneath. He uses ice-penetrating radar.
Without satellites, we never would have found this thing. But airborne ice-probing radar suddenly began to open up the mystery that pull back the curtain on what was going on beneath 3 to 4 kilometers of an ice sheet.
He looks at the gravity map, and he sees something unusual that he's never seen before. So he calls me over, and he asks me, "What do you see in this map?" And I looked at it, and I go close, and I put my finger on it, and I say, "That is an impact structure."
There was a signature in the topography that looked like a crater.
This is no ordinary crater. The entire state of Pennsylvania could fit inside it. From outer space, a giant object has hit the Earth. Before now, the most famous large asteroid impact was the giant Chicxulub crater in the Yucatan Peninsula. But the crater caused by this impact is 3 times bigger, the size of a small state.
The Chicxulub rock is considered to be about a 10-kilometer diameter rock. The Wilkes Land rock would have been about 40 to 60 kilometers in diameter, and the central crater is about 500 kilometers across, so the entire state of Ohio fits in the central part of the basin. If this turns out to be for real, then it's the biggest impact basin on planet Earth. But it's been under ice for several hundred million years.
Scientists believe that the Chicxulub impact killed off the dinosaurs 65 million years ago.
But there was another great dive 250 million years ago. 90% of all species on planet Earth were simply cut down.
Around 250 million years ago, there was a massive outpouring of lava in the region that is now Siberia. More than 1.2 million cubic miles of lava poured from the ground and buried the landscape.
This is enough to cover the United States in more than a half-mile block. This eruption coincides with one of the largest extinction events on Earth.
One of the few survivors of this planetary disaster was a species of small proto-reptile. But these tough little critters didn't stay small. This was the start of the dinosaurs. Yet in this pre-dinosaur disaster, the deadly volcanic eruption happened in Siberia. How could an extraterrestrial event in Antarctica have triggered such a cataclysm?
When you have an impact on a planet from one side, all of the energy goes round the planet in these seismic waves, and then they concentrate again at the opposite end.
250 million years ago, directly opposite the greatest asteroid strike the world has ever known, was the largest volcanic eruption in history.
This impact in Antarctica is a viable candidate for the cause. Because
What do you want? Think all the stuff of the
shockwaves around the whole globe out into Siberia, causing massive eruptions.
I gotta get that.
If the investigators are right, they've discovered a missing link in Earth's history. The critical event that triggered the greatest extinction ever, preparing the Earth for the reign of the dinosaurs.
If indeed the Wilkesland crater is the one that brought about extinction 250 million years ago, then the dinosaurs are sandwiched between two enormous asteroid impact events. The Wilkesland crater is a reminder that large impacts do occur. It's not a matter of if they will happen in the future.
A satellite over South Africa captures something bizarre in the arid landscape.
Just look at this image, it's incredible. You see these huge spheres, these huge circles, and you have to ask yourself, what are they doing in the middle of the desert?
The question is, who made it? When were they made? And why were they made?
There are still vast tracts of Earth's surface which remain largely unexplored, so sparsely populated that we need satellites to see what's there. In May 2013, satellite researcher Jamie Visser is using Google Earth to search for lost archaeological ruins.
There was this one site which called Fernodplan, which is in South Africa, and we heard rumors that there were some weird formations around that area.
The rumors proved to be true. A satellite passing over a remote region of the Kalahari Desert captures this image.
When it zooms in, were hundreds of these spirals just littering the area. I mean, these were really weird spirals, unlike anything I'd ever seen.
The spirals form a mysterious triangular shape. Could they be a quirk of nature? The result of some strange desert weather phenomenon or freak geological event? Exploring other known desert formations, Visser concludes these hypnotic patterns can't be natural.
Well, what first caught my eye was all these vertical lines right next to it, which definitely meant that could not have been some kind of weird natural process.
If these are man-made, then who put them here? To search for answers, Visser publishes his discovery and is contacted by South African author Michael Tellinger. Tellinger has published a set of controversial satellite images showing stone circles east of the Kalahari. He believes they were created no less than 200,000 years ago, long before the rise of human civilization.
I thought my spirals might be connected to it because they're located in the Kalahari Desert, and they might give us a clue on where the other civilization might have gone.
Even though the Kalahari is a desert, it has a very, very long history of human occupation.
There have long been incredible rumors of an ancient civilization hidden in the Kalahari. One man convinced of this was the 19th century explorer William Leonard Hunt. But Hunt was no archaeologist. In fact, he was a daredevil entertainer. He called himself the Great Farini.
The Great Farini was first and foremost a showman. He invented human cannonball. In fact, he was a tightrope walker like no one of his era. Farini's claim to fame is that in 1885, he became the first Westerner to cross the Kalahari Desert. He finds a city and he writes a book about it. He becomes a bit of a celebrity as a result.
Explorers set out to retrace Farini's footsteps to find his lost city. But if there was anything there, the desert is keeping its secret well hidden.
Farini's notes don't make that much sense. They're not that clear. They don't lead to a specific place that can be recognized as a lost city.
30 expeditions, they find nothing. Planes crisscrossing over the desert where he says his city is. Nobody can find a thing. And now all of a sudden, people are starting to doubt his discovery.
But now, this. Satellites uncovered giant shapes etched into the earth. Was Farini right all along?
The exciting thing is that if there was a Kalahari city that is now lost, a real vanished civilization of sorts, these spirals might give us a clue on where these were. The vertical lines next to the spirals might even be a big arrow pointing towards the supposed location of this city.
Analysis of the image reveals that the arrow shape points almost directly north.
The fact that the spirals form an arrow and point to the vicinity of where Farini found his city has to be more than just coincidence.
The discovery of this clue inspires archaeological explorer Robin Matthews to head into the desert on a quest to find Farini's lost city. Farini's journal describes a ruin, like part of a great wall, blasted perhaps by some earthquake. And when Matthews arrives at the place the giant arrow points to, that is exactly what he finds.
This row of rocks here looks remarkably like a wall, possibly what Farini was referring to when he said he had found the ancient lost city of the Kalahari.
This is wilderness. There is no civilization known to have established itself here. And yet, there is a wall. Matthews explores the structure more closely. It certainly looks man-made.
This looks as though it has been masoned by somebody, put together. Almost evidence of cement that would have held the rocks together but has now eroded over the years.
But are these really the ruins of a massive man-made wall? The stone is dolerite, a volcanic rock.
Dolerite is formed when a magma rises through the crust either vertically or turning laterally and cools slowly over time. It often can be found in joints or blocks because when lava cools, it contracts, and it can actually form what looks like a wall of rock.
So this wall may be an optical illusion, created when molten magma cools and contracts into strange patterns.
Sometimes that contraction and those cracks will produce grooves in such rocks that might look like the grooves that were designed for building or cut into the rock by human beings.
I could see how perhaps a non-geologist may mistake it for something that could have been a wall.
In all fairness, an explorer sees these lava lines that are formed together as though they were designed to look like that. Well, why wouldn't they conclude that was an ancient city of gargantuan walls? It only makes sense.
But if this wall of rocks is just a free geological formation, why do the desert spirals point in this direction? To find the answer, Matthews must make the 400-mile journey south to examine the circles.
These circles are linked to the ancient lost city of the Kalahari.
There, he will find the truth. Archaeological explorer Robin Matthews is trying to find out what's behind dozens of bizarre spiral shapes clustered in Kalahari. He heads south to investigate. Up close, he soon realizes that these spirals may not be as old as people imagine. A
not certain how long ago they were made, but if I understand that this is an old salt pan, and a lot of water flows in them, one would think that they'll be worn over time. I don't believe that they're ancient.
Matthews thinks that these might be modern creations. He dispatches a drone to search for evidence of recent activity. From the air, he discovers that some of the spirals are barren, but others appear to have vegetation growing in them. These spirals are not natural. They're not the relics of an ancient structure, but they do display evidence of intelligent design. The following morning, he returns to explore more of the site and discovers that the truth is out there. He stumbles upon farmer Louis Salzman. Louis and his family have been working here for generations. They plow their land before the annual rains arrive.
Me and my father-in-law, night after night, we plow this earth.
Salzman hopes that these spiral furrows will trap enough water to irrigate his crops during the dry months.
Actually, that kind of makes sense because we do see spirals or circular patterns in agriculture. I just didn't expect to see something like that in such an arid desert.
For some people it's a huge joke, but for us we just wanted to get the vegetation there.
So the desert spirals are the ingenious work of man. But it's not quite as ancient as some would like it to be. The idea that satellites float above, monitoring everything we do, has always been popular in fiction. But could we now be entering a new era, where even our darkest secrets can no longer remain hidden? In April 2013, an internet blogger posts a picture on the web titled, "A Murder Near My House" on Google Maps. The image, taken near Amsterdam, Holland, goes viral. Despite intense speculation, no victim or suspects are found. Then, 2 years later, image analyst Mark D'Antonio returns to the picture. On first examination, it seems compelling.
Here we see a trail of blood coming down the wooden boardwalk and onto the sky. You see that the blood loops around and it's pooled right here. You also see an individual standing right here, and another individual standing right here in a dark shirt. They drag his body down the pier, laid it down, and these two people are in the process of disposing of it in the water.
A murder caught on camera from space. Satellites have captured acts of slaughter before, but they're not always what they seem.
This is Somalia. These are fishermen, and they're gutting their fish right there on the seashore. So what we're literally seeing is fish specimen space. I can actually see blood on the sand.
Satellite experts are confident they can identify blood stains from animal slaughter. But have they ever seen signs of murder? The investigation switches from satellite image analysis to crime scene forensics. California-based blood spatter analyst Tina Young steps in.
The whole image looks very suspicious. There's what appears to be quite a volume of what looks like the characteristics of blood. It's worthy of an investigation.
If it's blood in the image, what could have caused the pattern it makes on the jet? Tina conducts 3 blood spatter tests to find out.
One will be a splash pattern. I will take this blood and pour it on the floor. And the second will be an impact pattern. I'll hit the blood with the mallet. And the third will be a transfer drag. And I'll use a cloth to drag through the blood. What we've done here looks very similar to the satellite image. It looks like a splash pattern, possibly also an impact, and it does look like a drag pattern was created.
But Tina's tests cannot confirm whether the stain on the jetty is blood.
In order to tell if it is blood, there would be tests that would need to be done at the jetty.
We may have found this initially with satellite image, but there's no way we're going to know what happened for sure. So we get boots on the ground, get a CSI team out there, and take a look.
The satellite image showing what looks like blood spatter on a small jetty in Holland was taken in 2009. A crime scene investigation team in Holland decides to check it out. The marks are long gone, but if it was blood, the forensics team hopes some trace of it remains.
We use a special handmade solution which is extremely powerful. It's like those big sticks you foods together and they end black. Well, this is similar. We spray a solution, it comes in contact with blood, it will white.
I'm done with dinner.
We did a test on it, but sadly no results. It could still be there, yeah, but we are not able to find it.
With no trace of blood, the murder theory is thrown into doubt. The Amsterdam police take the decision not to investigate the incident.
So here's the million-dollar question. If there's no blood there, then what is it?
Satellite analysts start looking for other clues.
Once you see the anomaly, you look at the patterns of life around the anomaly, and that typically tells the story of what's actually occurring on the ground.
If we zoom out a little bit on the image and we rotate it around, if you're going to get rid of a body, why would you do it in the end of a big pier like this in the middle of a big public park? Why not put it somewhere in the woods on this island or somewhere else? The stain on the dock that we think might be blood could be something else. This could be water staining the wood a darker color.
How could such an odd water trail have gotten there? One possible answer emerges when a local in the area claims the damp patches were made by their wet dog.
Now we know dogs love to run in the water, and the dog could have jumped in and come right back out, dripping all the way. Maybe this is where the dog laid down.
But forensic experts are unconvinced by the soggy dog story.
Blood doesn't like to break up. It doesn't like to flow as much as water. You would see water spread more than blood.
When you look at the actual satellite image, it actually does have that appearance of blood. It doesn't look like water.
Whether or not satellites have captured a murder taking place in this image, one thing is certain. Satellites can be and are being used to detect criminal activity.
After Hurricane Katrina, there were people that had a home they claimed was destroyed by the storm. But Google Earth showed the house was standing after the storm. And when insurance investigators showed up, the house was demolished. So they were caught in an insurance scam.
The number of satellites in orbit is growing, and their image capture technology is developing fast. The eyes in the sky are seeing more than ever.
With 30-centimeter resolution of imagery, we're now able to see details on the ground that you wouldn't be able to see. Now we can not only tell the difference between, say, a sedan and maybe an SUV or a pickup truck, we can actually tell you the color of that vehicle. We can actually tell you if the passenger left their car, their door open when they exited the vehicle.
The latest satellites have taken the technology of surveillance to a whole new level. A terrifying new weapon in the hands of the state. But also, a new chapter in the fight against crime.
For the criminal mind, it's something else that they have to be aware of, because there are eyes not just watching around them, but there are eyes watching above them.
A weather satellite spots something unusual in the African desert.
We saw a new light where there was not one before in an area that was not populated at all.
Is it a force of nature?
It doesn't look like lightning.
The work of man? In order to see these from space, the vibration going on there would have to be huge. Or something truly horrific.
This is incredibly tragic. People will die.
Orbiting the Earth once every 102 minutes, the Suomi National Polar Orbiting Satellite monitors the Earth's weather all around the globe. Part of its package of instruments is a sensor that works on the so-called day-night band.
Working with the day-night band, we can see lots of different sources of light at night. But sometimes we can look for new light sources.
In July 2015, one mysterious light source catches the attention of technology journalist Seth Porges.
I've seen a lot of satellite images, but none that look quite like this.
Two things stand out on the image. One is a series of horizontal bands smeared across the center of the picture.
What we're seeing are streaks of light that look unlike anything we've ever seen before. What is going on?
The other anomaly is even more intriguing. In the upper corner of the image is a single solitary dot of light, resembling a small village or town. Nothing mysterious about that. The satellite image shows similar dots all over the picture, but those are known sediments. This one is in the middle of nowhere. And the very next day, it's gone.
This image shows us something that has never been captured on camera before.
So there are two mysteries to be solved: the disappearing dot and the bright streaks of light. Searching for satellite evidence which could explain the mysterious dot on the image, the investigation spots similar lights from oil drilling sites in the Middle East. The satellite image was captured over the West African oil belt. Perhaps this can provide a clue.
When you look at the region, there's a lot of oil and natural gas production, and that means flares when they burn off this production. That could be what's going on here.
A lot of times when you have an oil refinery or some type of gas plant, they'll flare off a lot of the natural gas that's a byproduct of the drilling operation. These flares form huge beacons of red-hot burning gas that can be seen from orbit. But they don't just appear and disappear overnight. The thing with gas flaring is that it would be there for weeks or even months at a time. It's not the kind of thing that would show up one day and then be gone the next. So it's probably not that. The bright light isn't the only thing that puzzles investigators. The strange streaks are equally baffling, and they appear in the middle of nowhere. This is a very remote part of the Sahara Desert. Things could happen there and no one would know about it. What could cause these mysterious streaks in the sky? Astronomy analyst Mark D'Antonio thinks they are coming from outer space.
This image, taken from a satellite, is of meteors entering the Earth's atmosphere. You can see that they leave a stream.
Whatever's happening has no obvious terrestrial source. And yet no meteor showers were recorded on the night the picture was taken. Is there a more down-to-earth cause? You might expect that portion of the Sahara Desert to be completely dry with no rain whatsoever, but it is a birthplace of thunderstorms. This area of West Africa is a breeding ground for apocalyptic storms. And where you get thunder, you get lightning. Most lightning occurs in the cloud or below, but there are a few types of very bizarre, exotic lightning, red sprites and blue jets that have only recently been discovered and not really well understood. Nobody fully understands what causes the eerie pillars of light called sprites, or the equally strange phenomenon known as intelligent lightning. But lightning's a very sudden phenomenon. Why would it cause such thick, straight lines in the image?
You have a long exposure camera and you have a light stick or a light bulb through it, you're going to see streaks of light. And that's one theory as to what's going on here.
Suspecting that lightning might play a part in the mystery, investigators troll news sources, looking for any reports of unusual storm activity in the region. As they do, one tragic news report stands out.
On July 24, 2014, the Algerian passenger plane carrying 116 people takes off in the middle of the night for Algiers.
Oh, you're in my stream, Zeke?
It reports it has encountered bad weather.
Oh, sorry about that.
An hour later, it's lost all
watching TV.
air traffic control.
And how are you doing, Zeke?
The satellite camera have captured the precise horrific point where a passenger
Let me actually do that.
What are the chances of the satellite capturing the exact moment of a plane crash? Almost
Audio?
zero. A fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent chance of this actually happening.
The satellite captures a plane going down at the exact time and location.
There we are.
This is the mother of all coincidences.
Seth tracks down the researchers who took the image to find out whether the light could be
let me try.
We knew that the flight had gone down
Audio.
sometime during the time frame where the satellite would be coming over, so the timing was good for perhaps seeing something. And
There we are.
lo and behold,
That could probably
we
be
saw
better.
a new light where there was not one before, in an area that was not populated at all.
Putting all the pieces together, it seems most likely that the streaks on the image
Testing,
were
1,
lightning
2.
flashes
Hello?
from the storm that forced Flight 5017 down. And the bright light at the top of the image is the flames of the
RTX. No, I have not. I don't even know how to even use that. Alt C.
What are the chances? But what we are seeing is the exact moment, the exact
Voice
place, the exact
settings.
time the plane went down.
The chances of the satellite being in the right place at the time the aircraft was down is really small. I've never seen that before. But in this case, the satellite was there 7 minutes after the crash.
How do I do RTX voice? If you don't mind me asking,
really
Zeke.
don't see that very often.
Huh? You tired?
Research shows people who take HIV treatment as prescribed.
There, that should be better. I turned off my TV. That's probably what you were hearing in the background, my TV. Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, testing. Oh, okay. I'll grab out my other characters and I'll be ready. Alright, let me grab my other Taskmasters. Oh, okay. One blue arrow. There we are. Thank you, Zeke. Yep. Billy O. Bones made a catch. He is passing literally to you. Catch it! Thanks for your help, Zeke. This has been a little bit rough. Sure, Zeke, I'm down with any formation help you can give me, or any tips or tricks or anything. Yes, please. Your chest. Might as well save it. Okay, deal. Hello, sorry. So Lion Dude will buff the people in front of him if you pull him a second over. Okay, we're there. Alright. There. Oh geez. That actually. Where there? Oh there, Washington. There we go. Sorry I didn't have the stream chat up because apparently my thing here on the thing isn't really working, but there. Okay. Now he's actually barely beat that one, but yeah. He's actually in the second row there. Wait, no. There, you did better. I think you were there originally, so there. That's better. Maybe you put the lumberjack where the princess is, so better. Alright. Alright, there's our couple of tips. You know what, I'm going to actually say this formation is number 1 for DPS buffs. Oh, now I'm getting killed off. I'm underpowered. Not anymore, I guess. There we are. Oh, there we are. Alright, thanks for your tips here. Okay, this one's a little bit challenging, waiting for halftime. Beat Area 50, but it's a lot harder than normal. Swap it up and Alright, so I guess I take him out to the formation. Gonna go back a level. Oh, there. Yeah, it is good actually. Okay. Super overpowered now. Okay, I'm down with that. There are only a few of them. Actually, I have a whole lot more Crusaders. Seke DLC ones. The Evanescence. Jernan. Guinness. Langley. Earthy. Whatever you call that guy. And Jialong. Oh, sure, yeah. Chest, runes, idols, ruby shop, craft. I got them as a DLC, but yeah. I'm missing one stream. Okay, deal. First, let me actually recruit this guy, and there we are. Okay, that's a big old DPS increase. Okay, I don't think I need to level up this werewolf guy anymore. I'll actually put the other thing where Jiao is. Also, Imani's asking. I'll put you on there. Okay. Saving slot 1. We're done here. Okay, but yeah, back to my second page here. I got one chest I haven't opened for silver. I got my talents, rubies, I can craft items, I got runes. Yeah, I do. All mainly from DLCs. I actually paid everything, especially for my 10 Taskmasters. I basically paid for all those DLC-wise too. Okay, let's see my runes. I don't have any rune chests, but I do have a couple of unused runes. Level 3. I can actually merge this. Is fire rune I got a water rune and air rune? Yep. House runes. Crusaders and formation. Oh, they are. I have one unlocked, the Earth rune. I don't have any things here, but I can see increase the DPS of Jialong regarding by 100. DPS. Wow, so there's 200. Increase the max health of Jialong the Guardian by 2. Wow, geez, that's actually going to be a good one. The fire rune. 0.25% chance for any mission where Jialong the Guardian participates. Double the rewards. Wow, not bad. I mean, I can purchase some extra chest. I actually can get 25 extra chests. Yeah, I know. Oh my god. I'm already QD. Alright, let's see. Wait, no, wrong, shop chest. Rune chest, 64, 42. Yeah, I know, the 64 rune chest would be amazing to get. Could probably get all this when I get my taxes back in a couple of weeks. it is very tempting to get like 64 rune chest. Especially get a buff with it too. Yeah, I know, right? You know, when I get my taxes back, if I get $2,000, can you actually imagine how many rune chests I'd get with all of that? Ka-ching! Oh, I am doing missions. Even though it doesn't show it, I am running at least one mission. I might as well do others too. Shall I work top to bottom or bottom to top? You know what, I'll do bottom to top. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I saw something of interest. That'll work. Rare recipes. Start mission. Green solid. Yes. Okay, what do we got here? The spawn space is a nice quick one to the finish. The other one, the spawn speed, Red Buffalo. Unless I'm looking at something else. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Alright, let's see. I could get more idols. Or try for more idols. Not bad. What do we have here? Okay. Yeah, I think that's all of my crusaders I can send off. Alright, thank you. There are a lot of VP missions for the station here. Okay. Next time I'll actually look for... Wait, wrong tab. EP missions. Hold on, let's see. No. 1 enchantment point, 1, 2, 3. 6 enchantment points. What are you, 9? 11, jeez. I'll look into that next time. There is a lot of enchantment points out there. Alright, thank you, Zeke, for your tips. I saw someone say in chat the other day have like 1,000 plus enchantment points on every crusader. Oh, nice. Thank you for your tips. Yep, I'm about to finish this. 99%. Yeah, it is actually. You know what, speaking of which, I'm going to actually see how much the other one is. If I go to the right tab. Okay, what do we got? What was that bottom one? 21 hours for the 11 enchantment points. Yeah, not bad. No, this is actually my quest. I'm doing waiting for halftime. Beat Area 50, but it's a lot harder than the normal. This is Tier 1 objectives. Haven't even done Tier 2 yet. I've actually been working on my set bonus talent. I haven't gotten any other talents besides that. Stupid internet if a thing fails. There we go. One last location. A rip. I'm gonna do the click. Right now. Second row time, second row. Oh, for enchanting. Oh, there we go. Entrapment point effectiveness increased by 20%. Wow, that'd actually help out a whole lot. Wait, even if we get him by regular gameplay, he gets $400 entrapment points by doing a mission for him too? Wow, that was unexpected. Ooh, barely beat that mission. Oh, yeah, geez, that is a huge bonus. On top of that, with the gold bonus too fluctuating, that is a huge increase. On top of gold, too. I know it's my way a little bit of a computer, but not too much, like how to program them and everything. But there are certain things I do know how to do, other things not so much. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what, I was curious, I'm like, what do you want me to do about technology? Do you have a fan in the background? Or other than that, you have a fan running in the background, or you actually probably have an internal fan that you're like it's picking up somehow. Oh. Not sure we got this right. Oh. No, this is running in the background. I'm actually going to see, like, see about that. Can't, it's paused, is it? Yeah, I'll look into it afterwards when I'm done with my stream. Alright. I can actually look it up. I do have a secondary phone next to me, so... I won't mind the back seating. I'm gonna see what GPU I have, because according to this I actually see like a couple of settings here for... I do have an update apparently on my PC. Oh. 1050 Ti. Let me actually double check that on that setting. Because I'm trying to find out if I actually have like a NVIDIA GeForce thing here. I see. I probably do. My processor here, which I'm trying to look at, well, you already have all the specs. Intel Core i7, 8 gigabytes RAM. Oh, Carson. Yeah, probably alright then. Game filter, transfer photo mode. So I guess that rules out my voice thing because RTX voice, because apparently I don't have a 2000 series, 26 or 2070. Rip me. Oh, nice, thank you. I'll actually download it after the stream is done. Oh, jeez. And I'm already almost halfway maxing out my Crusaders. .70 E69. Wow. Oh, I know. That'll actually max out my levels and actually do everything I need to do before. Yeah, I always do that. The last time I reset before you actually joined in, I actually gained like 100-something idols. Yep. And I actually get more idols if I actually... Hold on, let me... Oh, that'll actually be helpful. That'll actually help with getting more idols. Efficient crusading. Decreased crusade levels require 4 idols. No. Oh, that'll actually help too. Extra training for crusaders. Utility tree. It would be to decrease crusader levels, yep. Hey, LOL. But items. I think so. We're talking about like the legendary gears or something. I think I have a crusader with one of them. Oh yeah, like I can actually like craft a legendary thing and actually like that'd actually be helpful, but too bad I don't have oh yeah, I actually do have free crafting. Are you in my formation anyways? Yes you are. You know what, I'll actually craft one. It actually will actually gives me 25% extra gold. Pick materials. You know, I can actually level this up quite often with commons. Oh yeah, the golden legendaries? Yeah, I know. Just takes time though to get everything. Oh, the secondary effect. Yeah, I know what you mean. Because this one, I can actually get extra gold for every point of experience he has. Given my formation, my DPS is going to skyrocket. They're my gold bonus, I mean. Any others you recommend me putting legendaries on? Yeah, I know. Especially golden epics. Great. Ooh, nice. Yep. I can also upgrade a lot of this stuff to 36 epic materials. I can upgrade 2 things. Let's see. And goodness, I actually have almost all these crusaders maxed out on their gears. Yep. And then I can redo something else later on to actually do the legendary things. Alright. Hold on one moment. Here, back. Hello. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you send me to AM, PM, or Circle K so I can get a snack because I haven't eaten?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And let me get ready and everything.
Alright.
Okay. See you in a little.
See you a little.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Miranda, estimated to go AM, PM, or Circle K. Alright, I'm back, sorry. Let me actually see what I have for GL. I probably did purchase him as a DLC thing. I do have a purple. Golden. Ooh, let's see what you do here. Craft Legendary. Increase the DPS of GL long by 1200%. Increase wall crusaders by 100% for each dragon. Oh, rip. Yeah, I do technically have a dragon character. Now there it goes. Time to see my thing skyrocket. My commons. Oh, all my commons in it. Deal. Upgrade. Oh, what? Oh. Is there a maximum level for all this? Do I get all of them back if I actually decide to undo all this? Oh, the piece selection upgrade to level 2, level 3, 4. Wow. Nice. I do, but I do not have either one or two things, either on a mission or something else. I don't exactly know. I know I have Rogue. Wait, no, that's not a... I'll check everything. Pilot Pam, no. Nope. I know I got one other one. Princess? No. I know I have one somewhere. I don't exactly know what. Oh, there we are. I got my dragon here. Prince of Dragons. Rogon. I think that's the other one I have. I haven't even got him. I'm tier 1 still. I mean, I would like to say yes, but I don't have that one. I'm going back to the beginning. It's probably another about halfway max level. Yeah, they are. 25, 25, 20, 25 here. Now 24. get back again, I gotta do something. It's gonna be that long. They're probably going to be used. Alright, I'm going to end my stream. Thanks for helping me out, Zeke the Geek. I'm going to have to end the stream now. We'll talk to you maybe next time. Until then, stay safe from COVID-19 and take care. Bye. Also, comment.